Skyline Attractions is not that bad. In fact, they are far from it. We have covered a couple of manufacturers on this channel before: Intamin, B&M, RMC, mainly the big names. Today we are going to take a deep dive into this small but very influential coaster manufacturer and see what they have to offer. To start off, let's talk about how Skyline started. It started with 3 GCI workers wanting to expand beyond just wood coasters, and is the reason why this company has such close ties with GCI, which we will talk about later. And they did just expand beyond wood coasters. The first thing they ever did was open a Crazy Couch flat ride, which I'm sure was very exciting, and they also built a couple more of these. Another flat ride that they built a whopping total of 1 of is called a Strike You Up. You know those carnival games where you take a hammer and whack a brick and then a ball goes flying up and rings a bell? This flat ride is literally that, except you go and you hit the bell and the rider goes flying up. Now this is incredibly quirky, a bit silly, and totally unnecessary. The gimmick isn't that cool, especially when you have to pay $5 to try it out. Now one super cool thing that Skyline is doing is this new flat ride coming to Codaland. It's called Skyblazer and it's like a frisbee that swings off of ropes. I really don't know the best way to explain it. The photos and videos speak for themselves. It kind of looks sketchy, but it honestly looks pretty cool. I really hope that it is a good investment for Codaland and a lasting idea for Skyline. Now that we heard a little bit about the -5 flat rides that Skyline has built, let's talk about their standout attractions. The main spectacle and outstanding attraction of Skyline is called the Skywarp, and it is utter dog food. The first Skywarp opened at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, and it was titled Harley Quinn's Crazy Coaster, and it was anything from crazy. Now disclaimer, I haven't ridden this ride, but from an outsider's opinion, it doesn't look that bad. Now this coaster has received a lot of hate by coaster enthusiasts. Now my theory on why everyone hates this coaster is that they are salty that they missed the credit. Harley Quinn had the most downtime out of like any coaster in the world. It was constantly and consistently closed. Now another running theory is that it was just a bad ride in general. I mean, imagine working so hard to get a credit and then just ending up with a garbage can that goes upside down. Now I have to say the theory that it is a bad ride in general, I don't buy into it. I've ridden what Skyline calls the Horizon model. The Skywarp is a set of 2 elements, and the Horizon is an Airtime hill, I don't even know if you're allowed to call it that, and a barrel roll. Now before we get into ride experiences, let's talk about why a park would even want to buy these models if they are as bad as everyone has said they are. Well, there's 2 reasons: money and land. Those are the 2 things that drive any man to want anything in this world, including Six Flags' master budgeting system. That's why the first Skywarp sold. It was hella cheap. Why wouldn't you want a roller coaster in your park that can duel and go upside down for like $5 million? It's a steal of a deal, except when you realize that you got what you paid for. Another reason is how compact these coasters are. These models can literally fit virtually anywhere. SeaWorld San Diego Trial Twister, a Horizon model, fit into the back of the park in a place no coaster should go. SeaWorld has a 30-foot height restriction here, yet they managed to build a coaster that dueled and went upside down. Why would you not want this? Again, when you realize you got what you paid for. So let's talk ride experience. I can't talk too much about Crazy Train, but hopefully it's similar enough to Tidal Twister that I can provide some ethos and credible thoughts towards both of these coasters. For one, the track these coasters use is manufactured by Rocky Mountain Construction. This company is known for glass smooth rides. You know what this ride is? The opposite of glass smooth rides. There's a rattle, and it's only a rattle. It's not headbanging rough, it's not jackhammering rough, it's not painful rough, it's a rattle. Tidal Twister at SeaWorld San Diego almost feels the same roughness as Emperor, a B&M dive coaster in the same park. I'm dead ass. Now force-wise, it's not the worst thing either. I thought the Horizon model pulled very good forces. Not extreme forces, but good forces. When you swing back and forth to get up to speed to make the full circuit, you get mad hang time in the barrel roll, like a scary amount of hang time. Like, am I about to valley upside down hang time? Now I'm pretty sure Tidal Twister has valleyed upside down twice, but anyways, it's that much hang time. Now if you don't like hang time, then that's an acceptable excuse to not like this coaster. But if you like hang time, it's the coaster with the most hang time I have ever ridden. When you take the barrel roll at higher speeds, it's a lot more comfortable and not awkward hanging upside down. Now when you finally take the 10 minutes to get up to speed, on the other side of the barrel roll you have an Airtime hill, or maybe just a hill. I try so hard to get Airtime on the hill. It's possible if you are sitting in the first and last row and are on the fastest part of the cycle. If those are the conditions, then there is some. Not a lot, but there is some. Every other second of the ride, there's none. So if the ride's not that rough and the forces aren't that bad, what's so wrong about this coaster? Well, I have a couple of complaints. Number 1, this coaster is extremely awkward. It's like once you tilt to the side after being dispatched, it's an extremely uncomfortable experience. Blatantly hanging down is also uncomfortable, especially when you have the worst restraint ever known to mankind on this coaster. And that's another point adding to comfortability. The restraints are god awful. It's like a bulky over-the-shoulder restraint. I can't think of a better design that could defy the definition ergonomic than this piece of crap does. It digs into your shoulders, ruins your fields of view, and is straight uncomfortable. You want to know another thing that I didn't pick about the ride? I don't like how the rows face each other. Now this could be a totally me thing, because if you're with a larger party, it's fun and games. Like when you are in super close quarters and facing the people in front of you, I don't know, I find it awkward. But then again, maybe it's just my awkwardness rubbing off on other people. The only time I've ever ridden this coaster was by myself or with one other person, so I have always sat facing other people, except for my rides on the end. I guess it is to add the extra ride experience of going backwards and forwards, but it's hard to even tell if you're going backwards or forwards, to be honest, in the first place. Now, like Harley Quinn Crazy Train, this coaster is supposed to duel. And I've been to SeaWorld more times than I can count, it's my home park, and I have never seen this coaster duel. Now this coaster can physically not duel, the two trains are attached to each other, but SeaWorld never runs the other station. I don't know why, they just don't. Probably because it causes operational issues. I mean, this coaster is breaking down every other day of the week. Another thing I find funny is how stupid this coaster works. You have to swing back and forth with massive drive tires to complete the layout. The train tilts out of the station, and the best part is, once I got a ride where we stopped on the other side of the coaster, the side where they do not run the station, so we quickly had to cycle and cut the cycle to get back to the other side. It was pretty comedic. Now to answer the question that everyone has been asking, is this even a credit? Now it's hard to say. Apparently there was some crazy debate at IAAPA over if this was a credit or not, and Skyline won, and it's now officially an RCTB. The claim to fame was that some of the coasters was powered by gravity, and that doesn't seem so at all when you're riding the coaster. However, I still agree that it's a credit because is a powered coaster a credit? Yes, so this should be too. However, a Larson loop is still on a credit. Makes ton of sense, right? Anyways, to sum up, this coaster isn't horrible, it's a little bit awkward, but I think it has good forces and is very rideable. So this model I think is actually good, and now that they fixed some things, I have no idea what they fixed, it still looks the same, but the Horizon 2 and Skywarp 2 both look good. There's also the Orbit 2, which is just 2 cutbacks. These coasters are cheap, can fit anywhere, and are honestly good coasters for the cost. I don't see the reason why they get so much hate. I enjoy taking a ride on Tile Twister when it's open, it's a very enjoyable experience. Anyways, Skyline has other things to offer in their catalog, so let's talk about their new Kiddie coasters. I'm going to make this quick because we're already pushing on our time, but I truly think Skyline has revolutionized the Kiddie coaster market. Skyline is starting to build single-rail dueling Kiddie coasters, and guess who's buying them? Six Flags themselves. I guess they don't learn from their past mistakes. Anyways, these are insanely cool Kiddie coasters that have insanely good aesthetics. The layouts look quite mid, but hey, the Trail Runner concept design on Skyline's website looks really cool. This is essentially a single-rail mine train, which is also super revolutionary. Both these models look like really good introductory thrill coasters that could be a great stepping stone for small children. Now before we get to our last point, I want to quickly point out that Skyline does a bunch of other things than rides for the amusement industry. They build gates, they build models of coasters, they make concept videos, they do general contracting, and it's really a super diverse company. Okay, final point of the video. Remember how I mentioned that 3 people from GCI left to form Skyline Attractions? Well, that led to Skyline forging great connections with GCI. In fact, Skyline is one of the lead designers for GCI. You want to know what coasters they design? Mystic Timbers? Yep, they designed that one. Want to know what else? Wickerman? Yep, you see. There's also Bombay Express, the coaster with the most airtime moments in the world, and like a lot of GCI's newer coasters such as Roaring Timbers and Zambezi Zinger. Yep, the new for 2023 Zambezi Zinger. So Skyline does a lot more than you think they do. Even if it's past what they physically build themselves, they're responsible for some of the best coasters in the world whether you realize it or not. They even have a strong role in the creation of GCI Titan Track. Now I guess you could look at that as a bad thing, but I don't. So that's Skyline Attractions for you. They're one of the most hated coaster manufacturers on the planet, except they shouldn't be at all. They're making leading strides in compact coaster innovation as well as innovation in flat rides. They also are revolutionizing the Kiddie coaster market and designing world-class coasters for GCI. They do so much more than they are credited for and are actually amazing manufacturers. So yes, Skyline is not that bad. They are far from bad. They are really good. That's all for today's video, guys. As always, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.